I want to share with you the best two foods that you should be eating for your teeth. Now, you can skip forward to get right to those two foods, but I want to first talk about why you should consume these two foods. The first thing is vitamin A in relationship to your teeth and gums. Okay. Vitamin A supports a lot of things, but it's especially important in the internal skin and mucous membranes of your body, especially the gums. And vitamin A increases the resistance to infection of the mucous membranes. So if you're deficient in vitamin A, you're much more susceptible to getting an infection, especially of the gums. And there is a condition called pyorrhea, which is basically gum disease that occurs when you're vitamin A deficient. And so there's various degrees of gum problems. It starts out with inflammation of the gums called gingivitis, and then it can progress into something more serious called periodontitis, which involves more complications with the gums, redness, chronic halitosis, bad breath, infection, plaquing, things like that. One thing you should know about the plaque on your teeth or tartar, that's not just bacteria. That is also candida, a type of fungus that can grow. So in your mouth, you have friendly bacteria and you have friendly yeast or fungus that keep everything in check. It's only when things get out of balance that you start developing an overgrowth of yeast and fungus and bacteria, and that can develop tartar and plaque. And the byproduct of those guys is acids that then create cavities. Now, of course, the thing that starts the whole thing is the fuel that you're feeding these pathogens, and that would be sugar. So people that have high sugar in the diet or carbohydrates have a lot more of the unfriendly bacteria in their mouth that create the cavities. And so this data between sugar and cavities was suppressed in the early 70s. So instead, they shifted their attention on saturated fats and away from sugar. But out of all the foods you should avoid for your teeth and gums, sugar is at the top of the list. So vitamin A is really, really important with your gums. Now, if you have periodontitis, okay, and you have enough vitamin C, you probably retain your teeth, okay, you're not going to lose your teeth, and you probably won't have as much bleeding. But if you actually combine a vitamin C deficiency, you'll tend to get loose teeth or you'll lose a tooth and you'll have bleeding. So in scurvy, for example, which is a severe vitamin C deficiency, one indication of a vitamin C deficiency would be bleeding gums because of what vitamin C does to your connective tissue. And it keeps the capillaries from leaking blood. So vitamin C is very important in keeping the connective tissue, especially of your gums, really nice and tight and strong, as well as building up your resistance to infection. So as you know, vitamin C is important in your immune system. Then we have vitamin B1. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you have a tooth that's hurting, you have like some nerve involvement, okay, neuritis. And vitamin B1 is the best remedy for any type of itis or inflammation of the nerve. So taking B1 can help a toothache, as well as chewing on a clove, okay? Clove will help numb the tooth, okay? So you might want to try that as well. Now, then we have this thing called vitamin F. Now, what is vitamin F? Well, it's a combination of the omega fatty acids. And then vitamin K2 is important in transporting calcium to the right areas of the body, to the bone, to the teeth, okay, and not in the wrong places. And then vitamin F has a function of helping unload this calcium and pushing it into the tissues. So given that information, what foods would have most of these vitamins? Well, butter and cod liver oil, okay? Now, when we're talking about butter, we're talking about grass-fed, okay, and organic, or you can do the ghee. This is loaded with vitamin D, F, vitamin K2 especially, and vitamin A, okay? And so all these are fat-soluble nutrients or vitamins. So butter is really good for the teeth and gums. And the second food is cod liver oil. Now, why is cod liver oil so good for the teeth and gums, and why is it so unique and different from regular fish oils? Okay. Well, cod liver oil not only has the omega-3 fatty acids that other fish oils have, but it also has vitamin D and vitamin A, whereas other fish oils usually don't have vitamin D and vitamin A. So it has these two extra things that are very, very good for you. It's very difficult to get vitamin D from your foods, but cod liver oil has a really good amount of it. So with cod liver oil, you get these fat soluble vitamins. You could also do cod liver. You can buy this in a can. It's very fatty. It's actually quite delicious. I've recommended it. Eggs also have a lot of these fat soluble nutrients. And then greens, okay? And I'm talking about leafy greens. That's the vitamin C, but you also have my favorite, which is sauerkraut or even kimchi. That's a great source of vitamin C, as well as probiotics and vitamin K2. So sauerkraut is really, really good for your teeth and gums. And then as far as the B vitamins go, nutritional yeast is a good source, but you have to realize that your gut also makes a lot of your B vitamins. So if you don't have the gut flora or you've had antibiotics, microbes can give you these B vitamins as well.